Well, all right, there you have it. It's your boy Kev coming to you with another video, man. Just went final. Game 4, Western Conference Finals. Now done. Warriors, 129-115 over the San Antonio Spurs. They sweep the Spurs. Warriors do. They sweep the Spurs, and then they advance to their third consecutive NBA Finals appearance. 1-1, won the championship. Came out of nowhere, really won the championship in 2015, and then had that tragic 73-9 season. Well, in heartbreak, I should say. Not the tragic 73-9 season, but they had the season end in heartbreak after setting history. You know, beating the regular season to eclipsing the best regular season record of all time that was previously held by the Bulls in '96. Was that '96? They went 72-10. Warriors went 73-9. And again, lost in the NBA Finals. Lost a 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, led by LeBron James. Back for redemption now. You know, you could say if they win a championship in this year, you could say they could have been three. They could have had a three-peat, but they 1-1. They're looking for their second title in franchise history. Again, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, two superstars for the Warriors. Incredible in the series. I think Steph averaged 31 points in the series. He averaged 31 points in the series, man. I mean, and Durant wasn't far behind him. On the Spurs side, I mean, I'm just not wiping away tears, man. The respect that San Antonio crowd showed for Manu Ginobili, man. I mean, you know, I grew up watching this dude. Dude basically brought the Euro step to America. I mean, now everyone uses it. You know, that's how impactful he has been on the game of basketball. Not only here in the NBA, but over in the Euro League. He won a championship there, and then you don't have to do. We can't even get into all the accomplishments that he accomplished with the Argentinian national team, 2004 Olympic gold medalist. I mean, heck of a player, man. Four-time NBA champion. I don't know why I'm forgetting about that. Four-time NBA champion. He was actually drafted by the Spurs in '99 when the Spurs won their first championship, but I think he was still playing overseas. I don't think he came to like 2000, 2001. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible show of respect by the Spurs faithful to Ginobili, man. He hasn't announced that he's retired, and a lot of people don't know that he will retire. He's gonna be 40 next year. They talked about it all through the series and the stuff about how some people from his native land, Argentina, had made the trip up to the United States to watch Ginobili in what could be his last year. Last year, I mean, like I said, the transcendent player. You know, like I said, with the Euro step, everyone uses the Euro step now. I think he had a YouTube tutorial video on how to do the Euro step. I mean, I'm just saying, that's how transcendent he is, man. You know, again, not just in the NBA, not just over in the Euro League, internationally with the Argentinian national team, a surefire Hall of Famer. You know, if this is his last game, I mean, he had a great series for the Spurs. He really had a great series. Heck, I think he might be the best player for the Spurs in this series as a whole. You know, and I was going to show a spot, but they turned it off of him. Yeah, once again, man, the Spurs are out. I can't get away from the Spurs without talking about the very, 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 very disappointing play out of one LaMarcus Aldridge. Obviously, this series will be a big what if. This series will leave a bitter taste in the mouths of Spurs fans because of the actions of Zaza Pachulia. Again contesting a shot of Kawhi Leonard, Spurs best player, one of the top 5 players in the league. Again, you all know the story. Leonard went up for a jump shot in game 1. Came down. Zaza Pachulia was contesting the shot, took an extra little shuffle, came down right. Took an extra little shuffle right under Kawhi Leonard as Leonard was coming down. Leonard came down on Pachulia's left foot, sprained his left ankle, did not play the rest of the series. He did also roll the ankle before that incident, earlier in the third quarter. Obviously, he sprained the ankle in the Rockets series in the conference semifinals. Did not play the game 6. Again, I played in game 6 of that final. Rested up, got ready for the Eastern Conference semifinal, Western Conference semifinal. But he rested, got game 6. Spurs took care of business. Got ready for the conference finals. The Spurs just came out on fire. The last first half of that game, they were up by as much as 25 at one point, up by 20 at half, and then that happens to Kawhi Leonard, and the Spurs were never the same. They almost won game 1. Big ups to the other guys for stepping up for that game, but they almost won game 1. This is almost a 5-game series. Heck, Spurs had a chance to win the series with Kawhi. I thought it would go 7, but obviously Kawhi going down was really the big story that everyone's really going to take away from this series. On either side. Obviously the Warriors fans be like, yeah, we beat you. Spurs fans be like, yeah, y'all beat us without Kawhi. But yeah, like I said, very disappointing performance for LaMarcus Aldridge in this series, man. They just horrible. Horrible. They bought this guy in as the heir apparent to Tim Duncan in all of his greatness, and since he's been in San Antonio, maybe other than that game 6, where he had 36 points, 8 rebounds in closing out the Rockets, he just wasn't. Other than that game, he just wasn't that guy. He just wasn't that guy. He basically shrunk in the Western Conference Finals like James Harden shrunk in that game 6, which a lot of the media gave Harden flack about. This dude Aldridge didn't show up for 4 games. Well, I say 3.5. First half he was good, but then the 3.5 games after, he just was not who he coulda, woulda, shoulda been, for the Warriors. For the Spurs. And that's a big reason why they lose this series in a sweep. I'm gonna go to the stat line here again. Big series for Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Curry with 36 tonight, 14 of 24 shooting, 5 of 13 from 3-point range. Really didn't shoot that well from 3, but made all of his 3-pointers 3 for 3. Free throws, 3 for 3. And then he had 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Again, Durant, 29 points, 10 of 13 shooting. I mean, you gotta be damn near perfect to be more efficient than that. 2 of 14 from three, 2 of 4 from three, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Did have 5 turnovers, but that didn't cost them. Steph Curry had 6 turnovers, that didn't cost them. You know, and then Draymond Green actually probably had his best offensive game of the series. 16 points, 5 of 10 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 8 rebounds, 8 assists as well. Klay Thompson still in that postseason slump. 10 points tonight, but 3 of 13 shooting. Only hit 1 3 tonight. He was 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and he had 6 rebounds. Big guy off the bench for the Warriors was Ian Clark, 12 points. Again, another 5 of 10 shooter, 2 of 6 from 3-point range. He was a real big guy off the bench. JaVale McGee, who had 16 and getting the Game 3 victory all in the first half. He only had 2 points tonight. Didn't start. I don't know. Only played 6 minutes. I don't know what that is. I don't know what happened with that. I mean, he's been basically one of their biggest players, biggest contributions off the bench, especially with those lob passes, you know, inside. And McGee, with his size and athleticism, able to get it done, able to get it done in the post, you know. Again, he played 16 minutes in the Game 3 because Zaza Pachulia was out with a heel contusion. Pachulia was out again tonight, but the Warriors went small. They started Patrick McCall. He played 17 minutes, 6 points, 2 of 4 shooting. Both of them from 3. All those numbers from 3-point range. Again, not a lot else out of their bench, really. Just going to go to the Spurs side here, talk about their stats. Again, big showing from Manu, 15 points, 6 of 12 shooting, 7 assists. I mean, a guy at 39 years old, you're not going to get much out of him, but that's a pretty good stat line for a guy that's 39 years old, to be honest. I mean, he's been a bench player mostly all his career. Got the start tonight. Just wasn't enough, you know, to extend the series. Kyle Anderson actually led the Spurs in scoring off the bench, 20 points, 8 of 14 shooting, 6 rebounds for them. Brian Forbes, he came off the bench. He gave him a little bit of a spark there in the second quarter. 8 points on 8 shots. DeJounte Murray played 29 minutes. He had 9 points, 2 of 7 shooting, and 5 of 7 from the free throw line. And he had 7 assists. So the young guys for the Spurs actually played pretty well. But again, not enough. Patty Mills, starting point guard for injured Tony Parker. To remember that Spurs missed Tony Parker as well. 14 points, 4 of 13 shooting. Really bad shooting. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. I mean, Mills was just a defensive liability because, I mean, the dude was getting cooked by Steph Curry early in this game and often. I mean, he was just getting straight cooked, man. He couldn't do anything with Curry, man. Curry had his way offensively tonight, man. Jonathan Simmons, again, another decent game for him. I mean, for a guy that's just coming along this year, I think he had a pretty good series. Jonathan Simmons, I mean, to be honest, he just didn't shoot really well. He didn't shoot well tonight. 13 points, 5 of 15 shooting, 33.3%. Had 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Like I say, he known as more of a defensive player, but you know somebody had to step it up offensively for the Spurs, and it was Manu. And like I said, Simmons had a pretty good offensive series, but he's known more as a defensive player. But again, man, big story of this series, other than Kawhi going down, was the lack of production from LaMarcus Aldridge. Had his worst game of the series, 8 points, 4 of 11 shooting. But he did have some rebounds. He just couldn't hit a shot early. I mean, he hit his first shot of the game, then he proceeded to miss his last 5 or 6. Like, the dude just could not hit shots in this series, man. You can't have that out of your star. Your star's got to come up big when necessary. Just like Cleveland last night, LeBron only having 11 points. You got to come up big. You know, you can't give the other team any hope. I mean, you know, well, I'm talking about in the LeBron standards. I mean, but you got to give your team hope. If you're LaMarcus Aldridge, you got to step up big for your team. He did not do that tonight. He did not do that this entire series, except for the first half of Game 1 when Kawhi Leonard was on the floor. When the Kawhi left, all the attention went to Aldridge. Aldridge could not handle it. I mean, if I'm the Spurs, I'm really, you know, looking at that situation, you know, going forward. I don't know what his contract situation is. I forgot. I know he signed for big money. But again, I don't know his contract situation. I don't know how many years they're still committed to Aldridge. But I just gotta take a long look at that. What the heck do we do? I mean, in a playoff situation. I mean, Aldridge was great in Portland when he had Damian Lillard with him. That 1-2 combo, they were great. Aldridge comes to San Antonio and he just hasn't been that guy. I mean, obviously, because the Spurs don't really play too much two-man basketball. Spurs play team basketball as a whole. But, you know, just a horrible series for Aldridge, man. Just horrible series. And like I said, he really came up short for the Spurs in this series, man. He really did. But just to recap, Warriors 129, Spurs 115. Warriors advanced to their third straight NBA Finals. They will host the NBA Finals. They are the number 1 overall seed in the NBA playoffs. They will host the playoffs again, like I said, for the third straight year. They will face the winner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics Eastern Conference Final Series. That game 4, is tomorrow. Hopefully I can watch that game. Hopefully I can get a recap to you about that one. Again, man, the Warriors big 2, Curry and Durant. There's a big 4, but their big 2 stepped up big for them tonight. And then they stepped up big all series. And they got the sweep. They didn't give up a game like the Cavs did, but hopefully that Cavs loss is a blessing in disguise for them because they're going to need it. They're going to need it if they face the Warriors here. If they get through and face the Warriors here in the NBA Finals, they're going to need all the blessings that they have. This Warriors team is hitting on all cylinders, man. It's going to be very tough for either one of those teams to get 4 wins off the Warriors this year, especially with Kevin Durant. Like I said, they were up 3-1 in the series. Green gets suspended Game 5. Kind of turns the momentum of the series. Cleveland wins 3 straight to win the title in Oakland, in Oracle Arena, in Game 7. But it's going to be very tough this year. Team that's more hungry, you know. Heck, I think this team is more hungry than the 2015 team. Obviously, coming off a finals loss, you had a MVP, hired many times, 4-time, 5-time scoring champion, and in Durant. Team gonna be very hard to beat, man. Very hard to beat. But that's it for now, man. Appreciate y'all watching. And if you watch this video to this point, I wish you nothing but positive vibes only. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video.